And folks, I'm out in the great state of Montana, still doing the work. Okay, my daughter's coming out. We're going to be deer hunting, but I came out ahead of time so I could. But I got this great news, and I had to give it to you folks. This is so amazing. Okay, so cracks were already showing in the Democrat coalition on the shutdown vote, but folks, the biggest thing just happened today, and I don't know if you guys have heard this yet because it's pretty recent news, but the largest federal employee union has just called on the Democrats, not the Republicans, but the Democrats to end the shutdown. Now, folks, I don't know if you're aware, but the federal employee union is reliably Democrat. Okay? This is huge. I'm calling it Schumer. He has effectively lost this battle completely. If the federal employee union is calling on Democrats to end the shutdown and doing it very publicly, he's lost, folks. He's lost. Do me a favor, smash that like, chat in with where you're from. I want to see who's on this stream. This is big news. So, you guys know me. I'm like this guy. Well, hey, the government shut down. I haven't noticed. Okay, all this. But there are people who are essential. And one of the things that I find really odd about government shutdowns is they talk about not paying or shutting down the non-essential parts. Well, the military getting paid is kind of an essential part, don't you think? How many of you think that the military getting paid is essential and that shouldn't be part of a shutdown? Perham, Minnesota. Jeff Gux from Perham, Minnesota, Great Lake City up there in northern Minnesota. But the largest federal employee union, I'm going to read this from the Huffington Post. That's right. I mean, far left lunatic rag, the Huffington Post. The largest federal employee union has called on the governments to end the government shutdown. Listen to this. I was just getting into the first part of this. I got a couple other things to comment on because we've had some other votes surrounding the shutdown, okay, that I want to talk about. The largest, from Washington, D.C., the largest union of federal workers urged Congress on Monday to pass a clean funding bill to end the government shutdown, undercutting Democrats who are demanding that any deal include subsidies for people who get their insurance through the Affordable Care Act. Now, one of the beauties of this shutdown, many people didn't know that there were all these incentives set up during the Biden era that then expired. And the Affordable Care Act has been anything but affordable care. Okay, it's been the greatest government boondoggle, hands down, period, of all time. It should be completely done away with. Kathleen from Indiana, good to see you on the stream. Again, please smash that like, help get this news out to some more folks. But the Affordable Care Act is garbage, and this is actually bringing that to light. The other thing that's bringing to light, so I don't know if you guys know, but on December 1st? Or no, November 1st, isn't it? It's just coming up. That SNAP benefits will stop? Okay, listen to this. There has never been a good discussion about who's getting SNAP benefits in this country and their EBT cards. Listen to this. Percentage of U.S. households who receive SNAP benefits by ethnicity. Get ready, listen up, folks. The number one by ethnicity, 45.6% Afghan. Number two at 42.4%, Somali. Number three at 34.8%, Iraqi. Dominican, 34.4%, Caribbean, 28.2%. Native U.S. citizens are at 27.6%. Okay? This is crazy. But you know what's interesting too? Is that white Americans are at 8.6% on this by that ethnicity. So Native would be your Native Americans, okay? So typically living on reservations, whatnot. Puerto Ricans, 27.2. Cubans, 25.2. Black Americans, 24.9. Arab, 24.1. Cambodian, 23.6, and so on. What you can get out of this, folks, is if you import the third world, okay, and Matt Walsh said this today, if you import the third world and force working class Americans to feed and house them at gunpoint, that is civilizational suicide, okay? That's what that is. You cannot, this is not sustainable. We can't just bring everybody in here and give it. So there's this big up in arms. The Democrats are making this big thing about SNAP benefits. And what it does is it brings more attention. See, I'm telling you, everything the Democrats are doing is working against them. Everything. Okay? So they want to go do a shutdown and then they want to start talking about SNAP benefits. And what comes out? We find out who's actually getting the SNAP benefits. Do you guys get this? This is insane. It's like the Cloward Piven strategy. Remember that Cloward? Yeah, I think it's Cloward Piven. But it's that political strategy where you overload the American public welfare system, and you do it to the point that it creates a crisis. Remember, never let a good crisis go to waste. And then it bankrupts the nation. It leaves the country no choice but to adopt a socialist government, which is the fever dream of all the one worlders. We're the last man standing, folks. This is it. The great US of A. We are it. And we are the one nation that can turn other nations back to nationalism. And when everybody acts in their nation's best interest, they're going to cut deals, they're going to do all the right things, and everybody's going to win. One world government does not work. Okay? Dave, this is hilarious. Dave puts Walmart closing stores November 1st due to SNAP running out, preventing riots and store looting. Gosh. Did you really just say that, Dave? It's just, and I really just read it. Okay, now, so the largest, again, if you just jumped on the stream, folks, the largest federal employee union has called on the Democrats to end the shutdown. The move by the American Federation of Government Employees, which is typically a Democrat ally, underscores the difficult spot federal unions find themselves in. Nearly 4 weeks into the shutdown, hundreds of thousands of workers are furloughed and missing paychecks, while some face the possibility of further layoffs by the Trump administration. This has been the great thing about the Democrats are actually losing their base. Their base can't even give them money anymore. Do you know the employer in the United States that pays more than any other employer by numbers on the whole? Anybody want to take a guess? Which employer in the United States, if you want to go get a job with an employer, which employer do you have the best chance at making the most money from? Harbor Girl says, I did Google it and Walmart denies it. That's right. It's the U.S. government, federal workers, the federal government. So we're supposed to feel bad. Look, there are necessary federal workers that are considered non-essential and non-essential workers that are considered necessary. Do you guys understand the stupidity of this whole thing? And so there are actual federal workers who do real work. Okay? I know, like, if you look at take, for example, wildland firefighting, since both my boys have been involved in that. Actually, no, and my daughter, because she did dispatch for him. Okay, when there's wildfires raging, you want somebody who will do that work. And it's hard work. Has anybody in my audience been a wildland firefighter or related or know a wildland firefighter? My son, Nathan, just sent me a picture. He shot an elk out in South Dakota. I'm so excited for him. I still haven't gotten my elk here in Montana. Anyways, that's beside the point. But so he was the sawman on his wildland fire crew, and they were training to be hotshots. But he had to carry the saw and his kit. I think he was somewhere, and gasoline. I think he was somewhere around 60 pounds, lugging it up and down the mountains all over the place. I don't mind paying those people, man. That's hard work. Okay, it's real work. But then you have other people, and what has wrecked our government, as well as every business in America, it seems, is the administrative state. The amount of administration staff to every worker, actual worker. So anyways, again, please smash that like. Do subscribe if you're new to the channel. Everett Kelly, AFGE's president, said in a statement that it is time to put every single federal worker back on the job with full back pay. Both political parties have made their point, and still there is no clear end in sight, Kelly said. The union's new position, first reported by NBC, could put added pressure on Democrats to vote to end the shutdown after a month-long stalemate over government funding in the GOP-controlled Senate. Republicans quickly seized on it to call on Democrats to back down. Of course they did. Folks, this right here, the Federal Employees Union telling the Democrats to end the shutdown. In other words, saying the Democrats are the problem. I mean, folks, do you guys get how big this is? This doesn't happen, okay? It's crazy. So now here's the thing, because I don't think we should be giving back pay to people who haven't worked, right? This is one of the reasons Trump is firing people, because we're so inefficient in government. But also, when you bring them back, furloughed workers, there is a law. Congress passed it, I think it was 2019, that says you have to give them their back pay. Did you all know this? How would you like it if there was a law at your work where every time they decided to furlough you for an unspecified period of time, six months, let's say, that there's a law that when you come back, you just get back pay. They can't just fire you and rehire you without giving you all your back pay. So if you remember when there was a vote on military pay, 3 Democrats broke ranks. Fetterman was one, then it was Ossoff and Warnock from Georgia. Now, Ossoff and Warnock from Georgia normally wouldn't vote that way, but Georgia's a big military state, and they're 2 of the most vulnerable senators in the U.S. Senate, okay? But now, of course, 3 Democrats have broken ranks in voting to end the shutdown. I think it's Angus King, I think Fetterman's, and then who's the other one? It's a gal, but it doesn't matter. And of course, do you know who else? Because we had a Republican break ranks with President Trump. What Republican broke ranks with President Trump? Put his name in the chat if you know. I'm curious if y'all know. Even a union that backed Kamala Harris admits it. Democrats caused this shutdown. Pass the clean CR, reopen the government. Senator Jim Banks, Republican of Indiana, wrote in a social media post on Monday. This is so backfiring on Chuck Schumer right now, it's unreal. Representative Steve Scalise, Republican, Louisiana. That's it, folks. Rand Paul is it. Steve Scalise, Republican, Louisiana, read part of the AFGE statement from the lectern during Republicans' daily press conference on Monday morning. This is just, I will guarantee you that the Federation of Government Employees knew that this would be the result, folks. And they're right. It's a national disgrace what Democrats are doing to good, hardworking people, to women, infants, and children who are just looking to this town and saying, what are these Democrats doing, Scalise said. Democratic senators have demanded that Republicans first agree to extend enhanced subsidies for millions of Americans enrolled in the Affordable Care Act that expire at the end of the year. Without an extension, health insurance premiums are projected to skyrocket for over 20 million Americans. But again, the dirty secret there is, folks, those were set up to expire when Joe Biden left the White House. You guys know this, right? So that was a short-term subsidy. So if the subsidy goes away, of course it goes up, but we can't just keep funding the subsidy. Hey, do you guys remember? I don't know. I mean, my audience, I've got some different ages out there. I've looked at the demographics on it, but I know that there are a number of you who are over 65 and a number that are over 45. So you guys have to remember this. Do you remember when, I remember when I was growing up, we went to a clinic and it was just a doctor who ran a clinic. Do you guys remember this? Like, you'd go to a clinic and the doctor owned the clinic and it was just a small clinic, and you'd go in there and you just see the doctor and you could actually talk to the doctor. You could even call and talk to the doctor. And not only could you call and talk to the doctor, but the MyPillow I bought needs a tad more fill. Well, you got to order the one with more fill then. Anyways, yeah, go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack or 1-800-568-2865, 1-800-568-2865. Great deals over there, folks. The coffee's awesome. The pillows are awesome. The Rev 7 energy drink is awesome. Go get yourself some. But we used to actually just be able to go see a doctor and talk to the doctor and then pay the bill. And I mean, healthcare costs went up so much when we went to HMOs. Do you guys remember the big HMO thing? Health maintenance organizations. And then the insurance companies were the same company as the hospital, but they were somehow separate at the same time. So you could get insurance from United Healthcare, and then you could go to United Healthcare clinics or hospitals. Absolutely the worst thing that ever happened to our health insurance, or to our healthcare in this country. The other thing, I'm just going to say something really controversial, folks. I'm probably going to just tick half my audience off, so get ready, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to do this. I'm sorry if this offends you. Not everybody needs health insurance, um, especially with what's way it's priced right now. Health insurance became something employers gave and I as a benefit, and I can't remember the exact year. I looked at the history of this once, and then it became an expected thing. The more health insurance got out there in the public, the more people used health insurance, right? I mean, if more people have it, more people are going to use it. I remember when I was working at a company years ago, and we had two very unhealthy. We had a small worker pool, but we had two very unhealthy smoking, drinking kind of folks, and they had to go in for big operations. All of us pet our insurance premiums skyrocketed. Now, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I take care of myself. I mean, it doesn't mean I'm perfect. It doesn't mean that something couldn't happen to me. It doesn't mean any of that. But I mean, I work out, I eat healthy, I don't drink, I don't smoke. There's just a number of healthy habits that I have. And so why am I having to pay for everybody else's unhealthy habits? When the hell did our government get involved with our insurance premiums? Well, it's been going on for a while, Rob Stoops. It's been going on for a while. But it really became evident during Obamacare when my health insurance, because I carried private health insurance because I was an independent contractor at the time, and it was 400 some dollars a month. After Obamacare got passed, it went up to over two. It was like two. I can't remember. It was over $2,000 a month. I mean, it spiked over like 500%. So we don't all need health insurance, okay? And most of you probably don't need health insurance the way it's done, and we overuse it. I'm not talking to you specifically. Some of you are probably in that boat, but I'm just saying, as a whole in society, we overuse it. People are running to the clinic for every little sniffle. Okay, we have got to stop being such babies in this country. We have got to get back to our founding principles. We have got to get back to more self-reliance. And church reliance. See, the church abdicated its responsibility years and years and years ago because that's where you used to go when you needed help. Okay, and in the I remember one time, I don't know if I ever told you guys this story. I was going to this church, and I was really poor at the time because all my money was going in to build a house. I wasn't making enough. There wasn't enough to make ends meet. It was a crazy time. Some time of great miracles from the Lord. Some really crazy things happened during that time that just kind of, so long as I kept on the project and I kept my eyes on the prize, things came together. One day I'll tell the whole story, but it was just nuts. So, anyways, but I'm at the church and this lady comes in, and she was moving back to town, and she was just in a bind, and she came to the church, and she used to go to church there, and she was like looking for $50 to kind of help her get through this difficult spot and whatnot, right? I got two super chats. I'm gonna finish this story, but I'll check these out quick. I can't get health insurance. We don't qualify for healthcare credits, and it will cost me over $1,000. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That's the result of Obamacare, Lisa. It's nuts. It was the worst thing ever. It's trying to get me to respond to you, Lisa. I don't know what I hit. Sorry about that. And then is this another new one? Let me just get these super chats here. I can't even read the other one. Sorry. Let me go back here. Rob Stoops. I owe $4,900 to my taxes because I got the Obamacare tax credit when it came to light. That made too much money for that. Exactly. I had to pay money for that stupid thing too because I didn't carry insurance. But anyways, back to this story. So she's there, and the person at working the reception desk had obviously been coached by the pastor because the pastor wasn't around because she wanted to see the pastor. And she said, well, you can go down to the county offices and you can apply for some assistance. Call it what it truly is, the Unaffordable Care Act. They don't care act, but we will give you a pill. Exactly. Thank you for that comment. But I was watching the whole interaction and I thought, wait, we're the church. So I went. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, I did not have enough money to do this, but I got the $50 out of my car and I gave it to her. Okay, that does not make me great. Please do not. This is not any sort of self promotion. It's just to say this: we are to be the church, and we are to help our friends, our neighbors. We're to do that. I remember when I was growing up, we had a cutting bee for the neighbor. She lost her husband on a motorcycle accident. He was a cop in Bemidji. It was the Brennans. They were a wonderful family. I just always remember them because at the time, I was growing up. My dad was an alcoholic, and so we kind of had a tough home that way. But the Brennans, I always watched his kids when he came home, and they would run up and he'd hug and kiss them all, and they were so excited to see their dad and daddy, and they were just a wonderful family. I loved them. And then he got in somebody's blind spot. He was driving his motorcycle home. He got biffed, and it was over. And that winter, they were going to have a tough time paying for wood. Okay, so we actually had a cutting bee, which is where you cut their firewood for the year. And so we had land that was close to theirs, and so a bunch of the neighbors came over. We cut up a bunch of trees. We split the wood, and then we went out and stacked it at their home because that's what neighbors do. Okay. Chuck Jansenil says Obamacare was a grift to make people dependent on Democrats. Exactly, Chuck. Exactly. It's exactly what it was. And so that's that Cloward Piven strategy again. You create so much dependence on the government that eventually people can't live without that dependence. You have got to, I'm serious, folks, please hear me on this. God bless you. I love you. I know a lot of people are dependent upon government in some way, shape, or form. Okay. And I'm not judging anybody here, but do whatever you can to get the dependency gone. If the government, if they can give you, they can also take away from you. Okay? And Obamacare, do you remember all the deals they had to pass that? The Cornhusker kickback, the Louisiana Purchase. Do you guys remember this time? How many of you remember the Cornhusker kickback? When he had to basically con the senator from Nebraska, the Louisiana Purchase. She lost her next election still. I think the guy from Nebraska did too. We were also disgusted by it. But do you guys remember these? And there was one more. What was the other one? It was the Cornhusker kickback, the Louisiana Purchase. What was the other one, folks? There were 3 votes that he basically had to buy. Come on, somebody help me out. They arrested a senator from Alaska? Oh, wait, hold on, folks. I didn't hear this. See, this is the beautiful thing. Do you know what I've been out, when you're out elk hunting? I don't know there's a government shutdown, folks. I'm just free, living in the mountains, eating my freeze-dried meals, okay? And just trying to find elk. Hold on. Alaska senator arrested. Come on. Is this a state senator? U.S. senator, and that's Tad Stevens. That's old. I don't have it. Who's the senator in Alaska who was arrested? Alaska. Let me try this. Who was arrested in Alaska? Come on. Who is this? There's no reports. Being arrested. Did this just break? Because I don't have anything on this. Oh, okay. We're talking about that. The old, okay, the Stevens deal. That Stevens. That's from years ago. That was that 2008 or something like that? Anyways, but Eli Crane made a post to X. He said 3 brave Democrats have defied Chuck Schumer and voted to reopen the federal government. Only 5 more Senate Democrats are needed to end this harmful shutdown. Mark Kelly and Ruben Gallego have a chance to be 2 of them. Country over party, right? I love Eli Crane. I've interviewed him. You guys have seen that. He's one of the most real people I've ever met with who is in the House of Representatives. Okay? One of the absolute most real people. Eli Crane out of Arizona. Do you know who's going to break ranks with Chuck? It might be Kelly or Gallego. It's going to be somebody from a swing state. And it's happening, folks. There is too much pressure being put on these people. Chuck cannot hold it together anymore. Okay. He's running around talking about how SNAP benefits, ending them are just cruel. It's not necessary. And this is the same person who voted against paying the military. Three of his senators broke rank with him then. I think you're going to see the senators from Georgia break ranks again. Now, part of that is behind the scenes. They do these things where they go, okay, wait, you guys are from Georgia. The Republicans are still going to lose the vote, so you can do it. But this is now going to build too much pressure on them. It's over for Chucky. You cannot have the largest federal employees union. And think of all the great conversations. Again, I just talked about the SNAP benefits. I talked about how we're seeing them vote against military pay. We're finding out more about what's essential, not essential, as we do in every shutdown. So, folks, this is a glorious day. Again, please smash that like. There's 1,175 likes and 1,875 on. Watch this. And just humor me for a second. Klobuchar is laying it on thick. Klobuchar is a piece. Watch this though. If y'all smash the like really quick, just do it. Just take a quick moment. Hit the little thumbs up thing. Watch this. Watch the numbers on the stream. It'll break 2,000. I'm telling you, it just happens. So, the federal food aid, is not going to go out on November 1st. The well is run dry. More than 40 million Americans rely on SNAP benefits to help buy food. And you don't think they're going to be ticked off at the Democrats? The Senate reconvened in the afternoon and is not scheduled to vote on the House passed measure to fund the government. The bill failed to advance for the 12th time last week. But again, you're going to see more cracks in the Democrat base. It's wild. Anyhow, I hit the like 52 times. Oh, you can't see the thanks icon? I bet because it's a super chat. When you're live streaming, you can't do super thanks because it's super chat. And that's how it works when you're live streaming. So, yeah. Anyhow, that's what's going on in the world. I am still, folks, going to attempt to get an elk. I've got just, what do I have? Today's Monday. See, that's the thing. You're in the mountains, you lose track of time. So I've got today, Monday. I've got tomorrow, Tuesday. And then I got to hunt deer with my daughter on Wednesday. So I'm going to have